Shall we start now? Okay. See, okay. Assessee, listen. Are you doing any specified business? No? Yes, no? If you are doing any specified business, for that business, you have acquired any asset, right? No? So any asset you have acquired, cost of that asset was, example, 10 lakh rupees. How much? Let's not take 10 lakh, let's take 50 lakhs. So, if one asset is acquired, okay, the actual cost of that asset, meaning the capital expenditure of that asset, was 50 lakhs. How much? 50 lakhs. Now, if this 50 lakhs you want to claim under section 35 AD, then we are going to give you the deduction under section 35 AD. Okay. Take the deduction under section 35 AD. Okay. Now, in which year you have claimed this deduction? In which year you have claimed this deduction? Let's say that the deduction under section 35 AD you have taken in the previous year, 25, 26. This is the year in which you are taking the deduction. Okay, no? Now you will have to promise something. Azazi, one promise. Promise under section 35 AD subsection 7A. 35 AD subsection 7A. This subsection takes a promise from you. When you take a deduction of any cost under section 35 AD, this section takes a promise that the above asset, what did I say? Above asset, whose cost you are claiming under section 35 AD, must be used in the same specified business for 8 years. 8 years starting from the year in which you took the deduction. So when did you take the deduction? 25, 26. So this is the first year in which the business is used in your business. So this year plus 7 more years, meaning total 8 years. You are supposed to keep this asset, keep using this asset in the same business. So in 25, 26, it is used in a business, specified business. For example, business was specified business A. So for this business, the asset was acquired. So you have to keep this asset in the same business. Starting from 25, 26, for 8 years, you have to keep that business in this same business. Keep using it in the same business. Based on this condition, this deduction under section 35D is given right now. Hello? Promise? Achaji, promise? What if you break your promise? 25, 26. Used in the specified business. 26, 27. Used in the specified business. Same. Yes or no? 27, 28, 28, 29, 29, 30, 30, 31, 31, 32 and 32, 33. Till, what did I say? Till which previous year? 32, 32, 33, no? Till this previous year, you are supposed to keep this asset in the same business. Now what if you take this asset out of this business and start using this asset for any other business? Can you do it? Within 8 years. What did I say? Within 8 years, you are breaking your promise. The promise which you gave at the time of taking the deduction. that you are going to use that same asset in the same specified business for 8 years. Can I say, if within 8 years, what did I say? If within 8 years, the above asset was used for any other business by the assessee, then assessee is keeping the promise or breaking the promise. So when you break the promise, one section will be applicable, 35 AD subsection 7B. B for breaking the promise. B for, so what promise you gave? 35 AD 7A. 7A takes a promise that for 8 years you are supposed to keep the asset in the same business. But when you will break that promise, meaning within 8 years, if you start using that asset for any business other than this business, meaning the asset is still with you, but now that asset is not being used in specified business, from that business you have taken that asset out and you have started using that asset for any other business. Possible or not possible? Meaning, you have kept your promise or you have broken your promise. So when you break the promise, one section will apply. Which section will apply? 35 AD subsection 7B. 7B, B stands for breaking the promise. And when the promise is broken, the year in which you start using the asset, within 8 years, the year in which you start using the asset for any other business. For example, previous year 28, 29. Can I say within 8 years? Because 8 years time will end in which previous year? So till 32, 33 you are supposed to keep the asset. Keep the asset in which business? In that same specified business. Specified business A. Yes or no? In this same business you are supposed to keep. But in between, within this 8 year, during 28, 29, assessee started using the asset. Started using the asset in business X. There is another business, business X of the assessee. So from specified business the asset is taken and now the assessee started using the asset in business X. So did you break your promise? As per 35 AD subsection 7B, if you break your promise, whatever deduction, whatever actual cost of such asset which was allowed in previous year 25, 26 under section 35 AD. How much was that cost? 50 lakhs, no? 50 lakhs, no? Now that will be deemed to be your PGBP income. But wait, this entire amount will not charge under the head PGBP. Will give you depreciation for 25, 26, 26, 27, 27, 28. 3 years depreciation will allow. Because if we would not have allowed the cost fully, we would have definitely allowed depreciation for these 3 years. So reduce the depreciation out of this 50 lakhs and whatever balance cost remains, that we will consider as your deemed PGBP income in specified business A in the previous year 28, 29. So out of the cost which we are now reversing, we are making this cost as your deemed PGBP income. We are not going to consider the entire cost as your deemed PGBP income, because out of this cost anyways we would have allowed 3 years depreciation. If we would not have allowed the cost fully, we would have allowed the cost in small parts in the form of depreciation. You reduce that amount of depreciation. Understanding? So out of this, reduce what? Reduce the depreciation for the period for which such asset was used in specified business A. Yes or no? So how many years? Previous year 25, 26. Previous year 26, 27. Previous year 27, 27, 28. For these 3 years, the asset was used in the specified business, no? So for these 3 years, out of this, some cost we would have allowed in the form of depreciation, that you reduce. Yes or no? So assuming that this asset was what? Building. So how much depreciation would have been allowed in the first year? 10%. Yes or no? On building, what is the rate of depreciation? 10%. So 10% of 50 lakhs we would have allowed in the first year. Wait, that 10% would have been taken as 5% if that asset would have been used for less than 180 days. So we are assuming that the building was used for 180 days or more in 25-26. Hence, for the first year, how much depreciation? Come on, tell me. 5 lakhs. 5 lakhs. So 50 minus 5, 45. For the second year, the depreciation would have been 4.5 lakhs. Reduce 4.5 lakhs, 40 lakh 50,000. On that, again 10%, 4.05 lakhs. These 3 depreciations for that period for which the asset was actually used for specified business, that you reduce. So how much will be reduced out of this? 13 lakh. 13.55 lakhs. Yes or no? 13.55. Reduce that. 36 lakh. 36.45 lakhs. Now this will be treated as your deemed PGBP income in your specified business A. So in your specified business A, in previous year 28, 29. In this previous year, this much amount will be treated as deemed PGBP income of your specified business A. So first 50 lakhs we allowed, and then that 50 lakhs is being reversed. But entire 50 we will not reverse. We will reverse the amount of cost after eliminating the depreciation, because anyways we would have given you depreciation for 3 years if entire cost we would not have allowed. So we will not reverse the entire 50 lakhs, we will reverse only 36 lakh 45,000. Did you understand this? This is the effect of 35 AD subsection 7B. If you break your promise, then this much amount will be treated as your deemed PGBP income of specified business A. Hello, did you understand? Everyone. Now where is this asset? In 28-29, this asset is now with you only. In which business? Business X. So now in that same previous year, now in business X, which business? Business X, there will be block of buildings. Yes or no? Block of building. In that block of building, this building will be added. So in that block of building, such building shall be shown as what? Addition or deletion? Because in business X, the asset is coming in the block. Yes or no? So in business X, in the block of buildings, now this asset will go and will be added in the block of buildings. In your business X. In your business X. Will you remember this? So now, when you will add this asset shown as additions in the block of building in this business X. So, this building will be added at actual cost. What will be the actual cost of this building now? The same amount which is treated as deemed PGBP income in specified business A will now be treated as actual cost of this building for business X. Understanding or not? Actual cost of that asset minus the depreciation for the period for which the asset was used for specified business, minus that depreciation, the balance cost which is there will only be treated as actual cost here, which is already considered as deemed PGBP income over there. That amount will now be treated as cost here, and now that amount will be allowed in small parts in the form of depreciation from your business X income. Because now that asset is going to be used for business X, so the remaining cost of that asset which is already reversed there now should be allowed from the business income of business X in the form of depreciation. Will you remember? So what will be the actual cost? Actual cost will be 36,45,000. This is nothing but the amount taken as what? Deemed PGBP income under section 35 AD subsection 7B in specified business A. Now that amount will be treated as actual cost for business X. Now this actual cost shall be claimed. Claimed as what? Depreciation from business income of business X. Will you remember this? Sure? Easy, difficult? Tell me. Now this will be taken as actual cost. This much amount will be taken as actual cost for business X. Where it is written? It is written in proviso to explanation 13 to section 43(1), which I left at that time. So as per the proviso to explanation 13 to section 43(1). So explanation 13 says something else, but proviso to that explanation says this, that in this case the cost of the asset will not be its actual cost, will be actual cost minus the depreciation for the period for which the asset was used for specified business, which is already considered as deemed PGBP income in your hands, will now be treated as actual cost here. Now that remaining cost will be allowed in the form of depreciation from the income of business X in this year and in the future. So from previous year 28-29 and onwards, this cost will now be allowed in the form of depreciation. Understood? Hello? Now, next question. What if you keep your promise? What if you keep your promise and after that you start using that asset for other business? So, first case was, see, what was the promise? That for 8 years. For how many years? 8 years you are supposed to use the asset in the same business, meaning till 32-33. So first case was you break your promise, meaning within 8 years. What did I say? Within 8 years you start using that asset for some other business. Then 3587B will be applicable. Yes or no? Now I am saying second case. Second case, if the above asset was used in any other business, after 8 years. After 8 years. Did you keep your promise or you broke your promise? You kept your promise. So if you keep your promise now, then 35 AD subsection 7b will be applicable or will not be applicable? Will not be applicable, meaning no deemed PGBP income in specified business A. Yes or no? There will be no deemed PGBP income. Meaning, entire cost which we have allowed, nothing out of that will be treated as your deemed PGBP income. Entire cost allowed. Be happy. Will not apply 35 AD 7B. Now where is this asset? In other business. For example, this happened in previous year 33, 34. Which previous year? Meaning, after how many years? After 8 years. After 8 years are over, in the 9th year. In the 9th year, if the asset is used for other business, then 35 AD 7B will not be applicable. No deemed PGBP income. Now where is that asset? With you only. But now that asset is not in specified business. Now that asset in other business. Understanding? What will be the actual cost of this asset now? Now same thing will happen, no? Now what are you supposed to do? In business X. Now the asset will be there in business X. So in the business X, block of building will be there. Tell me, in the block of building, such asset, such building shall be shown as what? Shown as addition. Now that asset is coming to what? Business X. So in the business X, the block of building will be there. There it will be shown as your addition. So if you will show it as an addition, what actual cost you are going to take there? How much amount you have taken here as deemed PGBP income? Nil will be taken as your cost. This is given in explanation number 13 to section 43(1). Entire cost is allowed, no? And not a single amount out of that, not a single rupee out of that amount was treated as your deemed PGBP income. If we have already allowed the entire cost, so for this asset in business X, now what cost you are going to take? Nil, because the entire cost we have allowed, and out of that, nothing we have considered as your deemed PGBP income. So this actual cost of this asset should now be nil, as per explanation number 13. But if some part of that cost is considered as your deemed PGBP income as per 35 AD 7B, that same amount will be treated as your actual cost of that asset in the business X. That is proviso to explanation number 13. Will you remember this? This is a difficult part of 35 AD. 7A says use the asset for 8 years in the same specified business. Within 8 years, if you start using the asset for other business, then 7B will apply. And if 7B will apply, what are you going to do? The cost of that asset which was allowed under 35 AD minus the depreciation for those many years for which the asset was used for specified business, reduce that depreciation, balance amount of cost will be deemed as PGBP income as per 35 AD 7B in your specified business. Now that amount which is considered as deemed PGBP income, take that same amount as actual cost of the asset. Now that will be allowed as depreciation out of the business income of that business where the asset is being used now. Proviso to explanation number 13 to section 43(1). First condition, did you understood? Second, what if you keep your promise? After 8 years, you start using it for other business. Then 35AD, 7B, applicable, not applicable? Nothing will be treated as your deemed PGBP income. Entire cost allowed, out of that, nothing will be treated as your deemed PGBP income. And if nothing is treated as your deemed PGBP income, entire cost is already allowed. So now in the other business, this asset will be added to the block. At what cost it will be added? Nil. Explanation number 13 to section 43(1), which says that if the asset is coming to your business, listen to me very carefully. If the asset is coming to if you start using an asset in your business, but you did not acquire the asset for this business, you acquired the asset for specified business. Yes or no? Then that asset, if you bring in your normal business, what will be the actual cost of this asset? Nil. If it is coming after 8 years. But if it is coming within 8 years, then proviso will be applicable. Then proviso will be applicable, which says that the amount which you have already considered as deemed PGBP income will now be treated as actual cost. Understood? Should I move ahead? This is the end of 35 AD. But a small question should I ask you? What happened here, no? How many businesses you have, Assessee? Business 1, business 2. Yo. Business 2. Okay, no? How many businesses you have, Assessee? So, for example, this is specified business A. And this is your business X. Yes or no? You acquired the asset for this business. For this business, the asset was acquired. Okay, what asset was acquired? Building. Within 8 years or after 8 years, the asset is still with you in your other business. In your other business. Meaning, asset is going from your hands or it is still in your hands. But initially you were using that asset in specified business. Now you have started using that asset in another business. So now that same asset is used in another business. Same asset can be used within 8 years or after 8 years. Come on, within 8 years. Within 8 years, what will happen? Actual cost which was allowed earlier minus depreciation. Depreciation for years used in what? Specified business A. This amount will be treated as deemed PGBP income. Deemed PGBP income for what? Specified business. Specified business A. And this same amount will be treated as actual cost in business X. Will you remember this? If this happens within 8 years. But after 8 years then? After 8 years then? No deemed PGBP income, meaning 35AD 7B not applicable, and actual cost in the business X will be taken as nil. Done, no? Sure, no? Now pay attention. Same thing I am taking. Copy and paste. The asset is there in your specified business. Yes or no? If you wanted, you could have used the asset in another business. Hello? But from specified business, From this business only, you have transferred the above asset. Transferred the above asset. Now, when have you transferred? At any time. Can I say within 8 years also you can transfer? After 8 years also you can transfer? At any time you transfer. On transfer, any sum which is received or receivable in cash or in kind, that sum will always be treated as your PGBP income specific charge under section 28. This point I did not teach you while teaching specific charge. This income I did not teach you at that time. And now tell me, if I would have taught you this thing, would you have understood anything at that time? Now the things are clear. Now if the asset is purchased, how much? 50 lakhs. 50 lakhs was allowed as a deduction under section 35AD from your specified business. Yes or no? Now without that asset being used for any other purpose, now you are not keeping that asset with yourself. That thing we have already seen. No, see, this thing is different. Now you are not bringing that asset to any other business. The asset does not remain with you only. Yes or no? That asset from specified business only, you have transferred that asset. Now whether you transfer within 8 years or you transfer after 8 years will not make any difference on the transfer of this asset. Whatever amount is received or receivable. Whatever amount, I am not saying to the extent of 50 lakhs. No. Even the amount can come 40 lakhs, amount can be 50 lakhs, amount can be 60 lakhs. Any amount, whether received or whether in cash or in, on sale of this asset, on transfer of this asset, any amount will be received. This will never go to capital gain. This will always come to your PGBP head. Now, how much was the cost of the asset? 50 lakhs, no? So you claimed 50 lakh as a deduction from specified business. Yes or no? This asset you sold for 40 lakhs. 40 lakhs will be treated as your business income in specified business. That's it. Out of 50, 40 you recovered, no? So 40 lakh will be your PGBP income as per specific charge. Now what if you sell the asset for 48 lakhs? 48 lakhs will be treated as your PGBP income in your specified business as per specific charge. What if you sell the asset for 55 lakhs? In scientific research and everything, what we used to do? To the extent of cost, PGBP income. And the excess we used to charge under the head, capital. Don't do that blunder over here. Entire 55 lakhs. Because they are saying any sum. That sum can be less than the cost allowed, equal to the cost allowed, or that sum can be more than the cost allowed. We don't care. Any sum which you will receive. In the third example, how much you have received? 55 lakhs will be treated as your business income only. No capital gain will arise here. Entire amount will be taxable as your business income of your specified business. Understood? Hello sir, did you understand? Let's go to the questions now. Question number 5 was remaining, no? Sir, question number 5 was remaining. So question number 5 has a concept of section 35. If you remember section 35, 5 lakh years back when dinosaurs were alive, that time I have taught you this. Bloody before the break only we have studied this section 35. Do you remember section 35? Huh? So based on section 35, the answer should be coming. Yes or no? Start. Start. Mr. A furnishes the following particulars for the previous year 25, 26. Compute the deduction allowable. Compute the deduction allowable under section 35. While computing his income under the head PGBP. So when he will calculate his income under the head PGBP, how much amount will be allowed as a deduction under section 35? You compute that amount of deduction. That's it. Now, he is paying tax under default tax regime. And he has exercised the option of shifting out. Exercise the option of shifting out. Now see, here I am writing 115 BSc not followed. Okay. And here I am writing 115 BSc, 115 BSc followed. Okay, no? Now first thing, amount paid to notified approved institute for Institute of Science, Bangalore for scientific research. Wait. Amount paid to approved institution for scientific research. Is it an expenditure or a donation? And this donation is for scientific research and given to an approved institution. Will be allowed or will not be allowed? Will be allowed. Will be allowed, but will not be allowed if you follow 115 BSc. So if it is allowed here, will you take 1 lakh fully here as a deduction? Yes. But here you are going to take nil. Why? Because you are following 115 BSc, 1 lakh will not be allowed. Wait. How we are going to solve this question? I am going to tell you. Don't worry. Give me 2 minutes. Okay. First, focus here. Amount paid to. Again, the amount is paid to IIT Delhi. IIT Delhi for an approved scientific research. Amount paid to any college, university, etc. for conducting scientific research is a donation. And even that is also allowed as a deduction. So you are going to claim 2,50,000 fully. But this will not be allowed if you follow 115 BSc. Yes or no? Now, amount paid to X Limited, a company registered in India which has as its main object scientific research and development as it is approved by the prescribed authority. See, sometimes you donate to approved institutions and sometimes you can donate to any Indian company whose business is to conduct scientific research and development. So even if you are donating to such Indian companies also whose main business is to conduct scientific research and development, for that donation also you are going to get deduction under section 35. So this is allowed. Full 4 lakh will be allowed as a deduction. But if you follow 115 BSc, it will not be allowed. Now, expenditure you are incurring on in-house scientific research and development facility as approved by the prescribed authority related to business. Meaning, you are incurring expenditure on your own scientific research, okay, and which is related to your business. So this is an expenditure incurred for scientific research. What type of expenditure you are incurring? Revenue expenditure. Will it be fully allowed? Yes. Full 3 lakh will be allowed. And this will be allowed even if you are following 115 BSc. Yes or no? And next one, capital expenditure, including the cost of acquisition of land, 5 lakhs. So this entire capital expenditure will not be allowed. Only 2,50,000 will be allowed. Even the capital expenditure will be allowed as a deduction, whether you follow 115 BSc or you don't follow 115 BSc. Yes or no? But the capital expenditure incurred on the land is not eligible for any deduction. So you will remove 5 lakh out of 7 lakh 50, only 2 lakh 50, which is the cost of the building, can be claimed as a deduction. But on this building, you cannot claim any depreciation. This 2,50,000 cannot be claimed under any other section because you are claiming this under section 35. Understanding? So what will be the total here? And what will be the total here? This will be 5,50,000 and this will be 13 lakhs. How are you going to present this answer? Very simple, very simple. Particulars and 2 columns. First column, if you follow 115 BSc. Second column, if you don't follow 115 BSc. Particulars, what are you going to write? Copy paste. Whatever they have given as particulars, you also write as particulars. Somewhere it will be nil, somewhere it will be amount. Somewhere it will be nil, somewhere it will be amount. Now you will be doing the total of both the columns. One column you are going to get the answer 13 lakh. Second column you are going to get the answer 5 lakh. So 5 lakh 50. If you are following 115 BSc, then the total deduction available under section 35 will be 5 lakh 50. And if you are not following 115 BSc, then the total deduction available under section 35 will be 13 lakhs. That's it. Very difficult question, no? Made easy. Did you get the answer? Correct answer? Sure, no? Okay. Let's come to question number 6. Illustration number 6. Now, if you'll see the size of this question, no? Hello. If you'll see the size of this question, you will get afraid. And you will read the question, at least 2 to 3 times reading will be required. I want you to do that first. And then I will do this question. Trust me, only in 3 lines the answer will come. Only in 3 lines. This entire big question, answer is there in 3 lines. That's it. Start. And this question is based on section 35 AD. So besides every question, are you marking or you are not marking? Mark, every question you have to write down. What concept is there in this question? So last question has section 35. This question has section 35 AD. Start. Do it fast. See, illustration number 6. Mr. A commenced operations of business of setting up a warehousing facility for storage of, see, you are doing warehousing business, but you are not doing single warehousing business, you are doing 3 warehousing businesses. First, warehousing business for storage of food grains, number 1. Warehousing business for storage of sugar, and warehousing business for storage of, according to you, out of these 3 warehousing businesses, all the 3 warehousing businesses are specified business, or only 2? Storage of agricultural produce and storage of sugar. Only these 2 businesses are specified business. For these 2 businesses you can claim deduction under section 35D. But warehousing business of edible oil is not a specified business. Section 35D deduction cannot be availed for this business. So whatever asset which you will buy for the third business, you can claim the cost of that asset in the form of depreciation, because 35D deduction is not available. Yes or no? Now see, when the operations are commenced, this year the operations are commenced. So this is the first year in which this business has started. He incurred capital expenditure, capital expenditure of 80 lakhs, 60 lakhs and 50 lakh respectively on these businesses on purchase of what? Land and building. So this 80 lakh, 60 lakh and 50 lakh is not the cost of land only. It is not the cost of building only. It is the cost of land and building. So out of this, you will have to remove the cost of land. And only the cost of building can be claimed under section 35 AD. And only the cost of building can be claimed in the form of depreciation. Cost of land is not allowed under 35 AD also. And it is not eligible for depreciation also. Yes or no? Now, when this cost was incurred? January 25 to March 26. Now tell me, what is the date of commencement? And when these expenses are incurred? Can I say this capital expenditure is incurred prior to commencement? This is pre-commencement capital expenditure. Will be allowed in the year of commencement. So this is the year of commencement 25-26. In this year, this capital expenditure will be allowed, excluding the cost of land. Yes or no? And in this year, the capital expenditure on the building will be allowed as depreciation in the case of last business. Yes or no? But wait. Now, this capital expenditure was incurred exclusively for the above businesses and see, capitalized the same. So there was a requirement, there is a requirement that any pre-commencement capital expenditure incurred will also be allowed in the year of commencement, provided it is capitalized in the books. So this capital expenditure is capitalized, so you are going to get the deduction for this capital expenditure. Yes or no? Now wait, the cost of land included in the above figures is 50 lakh, 40 lakhs and 30 lakhs respectively. So out of 80, 60 and 50, you will reduce 50, 40 and 30, you will get the cost of building. And that is pre-commencement cost of building will be allowed as a deduction under section 35 AD from the first 2 businesses. And the last business, the cost of building cannot be claimed under section 35 AD, it will be allowed under section 32 in the form of depreciation. Full amount cannot be claimed. Out of that, some amount will be allowed in the form of depreciation. Yes or no? But this is not the only cost. After the commencement, during the previous year 25-26 also, he incurred some capital expenditure of rupees 20 lakh, 15 lakh and 10 lakh respectively for extension and reconstruction of the building. Meaning, additions are happening in the building. Meaning extra building is purchased. This is a capital expenditure incurred in this year after the business is commenced. So any capital expenditure incurred after the business is commenced is known as post commencement capital expenditure, will also be allowed as a deduction in the year in which it is incurred under section 35 AD. But for the last business, the cost will not be allowed under section 35AD, will be allowed in the form of depreciation. Understanding or not? Next one. Compute the, this is the required part, guys. This is the required part. Compute the income under the head PGBP for the assessment year 26-27 and the loss to be carried forward. So this is the required part which you are supposed to do. You are also supposed to compute the taxable income under the head PGBP, and you are also supposed to say if any loss is there which is to be carried forward. Okay, no? So that I am going to tell you, don't worry. Okay, assuming that Mr. A is exercising the option of. Now why this is important, I will tell you. I have taught you entire section 35AD. Hello? 35AD deduction will be available only if you shift out. But if you don't shift out, you remain in the default tax regime. Deduction under section 35AD is not available. So 3 places under the head PGBP. Number 1, if you follow 115 BSc, if you follow 115, you cannot claim additional depreciation. Point number 1. Point number 2, you cannot claim donations for scientific research under section 35. And third, you cannot claim deduction under section 35AD. These 3 deductions are disallowed if you follow default tax regime. But if you want to claim all these 3 deductions, you want to claim additional depreciation also, you want to claim donations under section 35 also, you want to claim deduction under section 35AD also, then you will have to shift out. So is the assessee shifting out? Will he get the deduction under section 35AD? And will he get the normal depreciation on buildings? Yes. And even if some additional depreciation was there, he was eligible to claim that additional depreciation also. Understanding? Next one. Now, and has fulfilled all the conditions specified under section 35AD. Meaning, the deduction under section 35AD for the first 2 business is available to him, because for the first 2 businesses, he has already satisfied all the other conditions of section 35AD. Yes or no? Next one, and wants to claim deduction under section 35AD and wants to claim deduction under section 35AD and has not claimed any deduction under chapter 6A under part C. Yes or no? If he is not claiming chapter 6A deduction, part C deduction, then he is eligible to claim 35AD. And to claim 35AD, whatever conditions are required, those all conditions he has fulfilled. So first of all, is the assessee eligible to claim 35AD deduction? Yes, because he is satisfying all the conditions. He was eligible to claim part C deductions also of chapter 6A, which is not claiming. He is not claiming. Hence, he will be able to claim section 35AD deduction, because these conditions I have already explained. Now see how they are trying to make the question tricky for you. They are trying to give all the bullshit informations so that you get confused reading all these things. Because none of these things, any of these things, I have not explained, or I have explained everything out of this. While I was explaining 35AD, I have explained all these things. If you want to claim 35AD, you have to satisfy all the conditions. You have satisfied. But if you want to claim that deduction, please make sure that you are not claiming part C deduction of chapter 6A. Assessee is not claiming. He will be able to claim 35AD deduction for the first 2 businesses. Next one, profits from the business, profits from all these businesses, okay, before claiming deduction under section 35AD and 32 are given in the question. 16 lakh, 14 lakhs and 31 lakhs. Do a simple thing. Out of these 3 profits, if you will calculate deduction under 35AD and 32, ultimately you are going to get PGBP income or the loss which is supposed to be carried forward. That is the requirement of the question. Yes or no? Now see, also assume in respect of the expenditure incurred, the payments are made by account pay check or ECS through bank account, meaning all the capital expenditure, all the actual costs The payment for them are made by way of account pay check. Thank God. If some payment out of this is made by way of other than prescribed mode, then that payment will not be treated as actual cost as per the proviso to section 43(1). I have already told you. And you are very lucky that the examiner is not putting those information in the question. If I would have been your examiner, what I would have done? Out of the costs which are incurred, no? 20% cost is paid by way of cross check. So if you are taking full amount, gone. Out of that amount, 20% is paid through cross check, will not be treated as actual cost. You are only supposed to take 80%, which is paid by way of prescribed modes. Unfortunately, all the costs are paid by way of prescribed modes. You can take all the costs. Okay. Now how to present the answer? In that same manner in which it is given in the ICA study mat? No. If you will write that much big answer, what will happen? You will go mad. Okay. So tell me, what are you going to compute? Name of the assessee? Mr. A. Previous year, assessment year, everything you write. Okay, no? Then computation of what? Taxable income under the head PGBP and losses to be carried forward. This you are going to compute. Okay, no? And this you are going to compute for each business separately. So how many businesses you are having? Warehousing of EO. EO means edible oil. Warehousing of what? S. Sugar. And then warehousing of AP. Agricultural produce. You are going to write full forms. For the sake of simplicity, I am writing shortcuts. Okay, now tell me, particulars. From where you will start? Starting point. Come on, tell me starting point. Guys. Starting point will be this amount. Profits from the business. So profits before deduction under section 35 AD and under section 32. What is the profit? Come on, tell me. 16 lakhs, 14 lakhs and 31 lakhs. Out of these profits only, I am supposed to take deduction. First deduction I am going to take depreciation under section 32, which I am not going to get for first two businesses because their entire cost I am going to claim under section 35 AD. But for the last business, whatever capital expenditure is there, on that capital expenditure I am going to get depreciation. So this depreciation will be how much? That I have to calculate. That's it. Understanding? Next one. Less what? Less capital expenditure in case of specified business under section 35 AD. This I am going to get for first two businesses. Yes or no? So for first two businesses, how much will be this capital expenditure? Understanding or not? So that I am going to find out and I am going to write down that amount. Okay. Now after taking these deductions, either I will have positive amount or I will have negative amount. If positive amount is there, that is taxable income, and if negative amount is there, That will be a loss. Yes or no? Now pay attention. How to find out these amounts? For that, small working note. So first working note. In this working note, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take capital expenditure on land and building. I will write pre-commencement. How much? 80 lakhs. Second one is how much? 60 lakhs. And the third one is how much? 50 lakhs. Out of this capital expenditure, I am supposed to reduce cost of land. For first, how much was the cost of land? 30 lakhs, no? 50 lakhs. Cost of land was 50 lakhs. Second one and third one 30 lakhs. Everyone getting this or not? So reduce. This is cost of building, which is pre-commencement. Yes or no? 30 lakhs. Here you are going to get 20 lakhs. I'm going to throw you out of the class now. Behave yourself. Otherwise, don't come to class. $20 lakhs. And last one, 20 lakhs. Now, some capital expenditure is also incurred as extension in building. Yes or no? But that is done post commencement. Even that will be allowed. See, the earlier one will also be allowed in 25-26 and this will also be allowed in 25-26. So I am adding both of them and both of them I'll claim in 25-26. Yes or no? So what was the cost of extension? First one, 20 lakhs. Second one, 15 lakhs. Third one, 10 lakhs. Can you do the total? First one is 50 lakhs. Second one is 35 lakhs. And last one is 30 lakhs. Now, this 50 lakhs and this 35 lakhs, both will be allowed under section 35 AD in previous year 25-26. Yes or no? And on this depreciation at the rate of 10%. Why 10% I have taken? This cost of building, no? And assuming that the building is used for full year, yes or no? I will claim full depreciation. How much? 3 lakhs. And that 3 lakh will be allowed under section 32. Okay, sir. So 50-35. Here I'll write 50 lakhs. And here I will write 35 lakhs. And here I will write 3 lakhs. Reduce. Here you are going to get negative 34 lakhs. Negative 34, no? And you are going to get negative 21 lakhs. And here you are going to get positive 28 lakhs. Done, sir? Now, you have two losses. Both the losses are from specified business. Do you remember something? What? Loss of any specified business can be set off only against profit of any other specified business only. Even if you are having a profit of any other business, from that business profit, you cannot set off the loss. And the loss of specified business cannot be set off against other heads also. It will be directly carried forward. So if you had profit of one business and loss of another business, this can be set off against this and this can be set off against this, then there is no problem. Because loss of a specified business can be set off against profit of another specified business. This could have been done, but this loss cannot be set off against profit of normal business. This loss cannot be set off against profits of normal business. So this year, what will be your taxable PGBP income? Full 28 lakhs. This will be your taxable PGBP income. On this 28 lakh, you are going to pay tax. And can you total both of them? The loss is 55 lakhs. And now this loss cannot be adjusted against what? This profit. So this loss will be carried forward. Loss to be carried forward. For solving such question, you are going to get 6 marks. After reading the question, after solving the question, how did you find this question? Very difficult, no? So where you are going wrong? What mistakes you are doing? Number one, you are not understanding the question only. You are reading only, but not interpreting what is the question wants to tell you. Second thing, you are not clear that what the question asks you. What is the question asking you? See, what you know, you don't have to write that. What the question is asking, that you have to write. So first understand the question. Second, understand that what the question requires you to do. And third, and very important part, presentation. Slowly and gradually that will develop. For that, you are supposed to solve the questions on your own, which I am doing. Before solving the question, I am giving you that question to solve, so that you at least apply some of your mind, that how do I present this thing. And even after, helping you to do that, you are, looking at the solutions given by ICI. That is not going to help you. Without looking at the solution, are you able to present the answer? If yes, then your confidence will increase. And if no, then you learn the presentation. Sure. Question number 7 and question number 8. 2 questions are there, no? See, illustration number 7 and illustration number 8. These 2 illustrations are your homework for today. You are going to try these 2 illustrations at home. And both the illustrations have section 35 AD. One is having 35 AD 7B, if you remember. 35 AD 7B, breaking the promise. You know, na? So that concept is also there. So 2 questions I am giving you for homework. Both the questions you are going to try today. And tomorrow I am going to solve these 2 questions. Okay? See you all tomorrow. Bye.